Welcome to Iron Deck. I'm your host, Peter.
I'm Jeremy.
Today, we are going to do a haul video, kind of a dual haul video, where Jeremy's going to show what he's been spending his money on. I'm going to show what I've been spending my money on. Remember, we are not experts. We are not investors. We are just having fun with this dumb game called Magic the Gathering.
Yes, this is not any kind of financial advice. Our only financial advice is please don't throw all your money away on cardboard triangles. Rectangles.
Rectangles.
Also, don't throw it away on cardboard triangles.
Those are torn Magic cards.
You don't want those.
No, you don't. Well, Jeremy, what have you done? What have you done?
All right, so I've done a lot in the past week or so. We're going to start off with a card that both of us are well acquainted with because we're miserable sneak and show players. And that is the new Judge Foil Omniscience.
It's so beautiful.
It's a gorgeous card. I wasn't sure until I saw it in person. But man, this is so much better. I think currently both of us use the Amonkhet invocations.
Yes.
And here's go ahead.
I do it for two reasons. One, it's easy to search for, and it's more obvious when I draw the card. It's like, oh, gold. That's something I really, really want. But it also tilts my opponent.
It did tilt your opponent live. I saw it over your shoulder.
Go ahead and tell the story.
He was a legacy grinder, right? He's an old school legacy player apparently. And Peter was playing it and played the Omniscience with a show and tell.
This is at a GP, by the way, side event.
And he goes, oh, legacy players don't recognize that card. We don't recognize that version. So it's like,
which just made me go buy a playset.
Yeah. Now, see, I have another take on it. My take is I've had that sitting in my hand while I was like debating whether or not to like brainstorm to find, another blue card to force with. And then I was like, oh, right. Omniscience is a blue card, but I can't tell because it's this dumb invocation border.
Yes.
Like I love the cards, but they really failed on almost every level for like Magic aesthetics. Right? It's impossible to read the text. The art is too small.
Impossible. Yes. I was playing Legacy last night in real life, and I cast Omniscience, or I show and tell Omniscience, and my opponent picked it up. He goes, "Is that Thoughtseize?" And he picks it up. And I was like, now that you mentioned it, it looks just like Thoughtseize.
I like that you would have show and tell Thoughtseize into play.
Oh, fair.
Is that a Thoughtseize? Yes. Show me your hand, please. So yeah, I picked up these Omniscience. They just had a price collapse.
Yeah.
Like a lot of Judge Foils, they come out high and then slowly but surely eke their way down into more reasonable area. I
made the fatal error. I bought mine at $82, and you got yours for how much?
I think $49 a piece. So that happened. Here's a bit of what can we call it? Advice.
Amateur
Here's
advice.
Some amateur advice. Don't buy Judge Foils the moment they're revealed. Give them a few months for them to bottom out. I think me and Peter both bought play sets of the Judge Emrakul for in the 90s, and I think you can get one now for $30, $40.
Correct. Yes. So. In the 90s, he means price, not year.
Yes. Emrakul didn't exist in the 90s. You were playing cards like Autumn Willow instead. Okay. Next up is a card that I wish was playable in any format that I play. Peter informs me that it's available or that it's playable in standard, but I don't know. I don't have Magic Arena installed anymore. So this is Elsbeth Resplendent. This is one of the most beautiful Magic cards I've ever seen in person.
Absolutely.
I should have probably just bought one because I just love the art, and I don't think this is ever going to be playable in Legacy and God forbid Vintage. But it's stunning. Like this is the absolute best to me that Wizards has done, and especially in New Capenna. Like this is exactly on point to what New Capenna should look like, right? Like this is that Art Deco, the
whole set,
classic vintage. What's the word I'm looking for? Oh, like the 1920s photography. I mean, it's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a stunning card. I would say a playset is a bit aggressive.
Yeah.
Bit of an aggressive purchase.
It was. for a card that I will probably never cast. But hey, you know what? We're going to get in the commander, so maybe
You only need one.
you only. I doubt I'll have 4 commander decks that all run Elsbeth Resplendent, but stranger things have happened. Here's the next one, which is just a mess of a card. Oh yeah, you know it
so much.
This is the old text formatting Teferi Planeswalker. This was a secret layer. I didn't buy it in foil because, as anybody who's bought a foil secret layer knows, they show up out of the pack unplayable, instantly marked for your pleasure. So I got them in non-foil. I love the old border on the Planeswalker. Like, I like the old school gold Legends border. And it explains in grueling detail how it would work if Planeswalkers weren't a card type.
Yeah. And it is really grueling. Yeah, it comes into play with these many counters. Remove a counter. Oh my God.
Yeah. So, like, I get it. They are a nightmare. I just love the old border. So it made me pull the trigger.
The old gold multicolored border is iconic. I mean, all the way back to Legends is kind of where it really came into play and was like a beautiful thing. And people were like, ooh, you know, look at these cards in multicolor. And, you know, almost all of them were some kind of chase card because, you know, back in my day, you know, if you were going to play multiple colors in a deck, you know, you were kind of on the fringe, and it was to have a card that worked in synergy with multiple colors was like, this makes the deck kind of merge together. So yeah, the multicolored cards back in the day were a thing.
And again, I love the kind of retro look of it. I wish they would do that as the masterpiece style in all the decks, like they did with Time Spiral Remastered. Coolest thing. Yeah. And I really like these, and they are a nightmare to read. But anybody who's playing, you know, Legacy or Vintage knows what Teferi does, I hope. So, as it says, use counters. So let's keep on trucking here through Nightmare Teferi. Here's a complete impulse purchase. A card that I have 4 of in the regular format from whichever Tarkir said it was from. This is the Judge Monastery Mentor. Yeah, I don't have much to say about it. It was late. I was on TCG Player, and something got in my craw and said, you need another playset of Monastery Mentors. I think I was watching someone play the Jeskai Days Undoing deck in Legacy, and there's a Monastery Mentor, and I was like, I need a better looking one. And so I got a playset of this because in the middle of the night, I make bad decisions.
Are you sure it was TCG Player and not PCP Player?
I mean, you're not far off. So this is the Judge Foil Monastery Mentor. I have some just in time for it to be reprinted in Double Masters 2.
That's right. Yes.
It doesn't have this art, so I guess there's that. If I'm completely honest, I like the original art better. So I really don't know what I'm doing. Here are some Monastery Mentors, and there they go.
And that I would not give any amateur advice on investing in or buying unless you just like the art.
Unless you love Monastery Mentor. Here is a playset of Beta Wild Growth.
Now we're talking, brother.
Yeah, this was a purchase. Somebody on Twitter, I don't remember their handle, popped this up and said, hey, I've got 4 Beta Wild Growth for sale, and it was a great price. And I was like, hey, I have an Enchantress deck. And my Wild Growths are from Ice Age. And I wish they were beta. So there they are. I love it. Yeah, obviously any card you can get the beta version for a decent price. It's a super flex. I mean, obviously I'd prefer the alpha version, but I didn't want to spend $1,000 on a card that's been reprinted into the dirt.
Yes.
So
yeah, I mean, it just kind of goes to show the old cards hold their value. The old cards are desirable. The old cards are sometimes the apex version of the card. And I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a beta green Wild Growth. What more could you ask for? It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful card. Not much more to say about it. In our non-financial advice, pick them up. They look beautiful in person. All right. Oh, a Survival of the Fittest.
Ooh, reserve list.
Reserve list card. It's a card I only have 1 of, and in my endless quest to complete the cycle of playable Magic cards in all the formats, I realized that I needed 3 more survival of the fittest. So I think the last one I got was like, I think it was at 80. And I'm like, it'll be fine. It'll stay there. And now it's like $250.
Yep.
And so I was like, oh man, I just got to complete this before it's suddenly $1,000 out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's exactly where I stand. I only have one of them, and I haven't picked up any more because the price keeps going up. And I've said it on prior podcasts. If you need a reserve list card, now's the time to buy it.
Just buy it. Yeah, now's the time. Right? It's like investing in the stock, but now is the time.
Now is always the time.
So yeah, I picked this up. It's a beautiful, beautiful looking survival of the fittest. Hopefully it doesn't become a thing in Vintage or Commander anytime soon. It's probably banned in Commander. Nate will tell us one day. We were wrong about it last time. Here's a purchase I made. I was at the same place I bought the survival of the fittest. I was at in South Jersey, a place. Man, they're Card Titan online. I forget what their name is. Their brick and mortar store, but it's the online Card Titan. And I was there and I wanted to buy something, so I got the survival of the fittest. And I'm like, hey, you know what? I'll get some food chains. I don't have food chains, so I got the ones that were the list. I prefer the original. I mean, it's basically the same, right? The masks version versus the one with the list, except the little Planeswalker symbol. And I got them just in time for them to be reprinted as well in Double Masters.
Always remember that any card that's not reserve list is on the table for reprint.
Especially 3 Kingdoms cards, apparently.
Yes.
So here's some food chains. I got these, and they're the list version, which I think has immediately gone to the least desirable version, thanks to Double Masters. So
it really, and that happens to a lot of cards. Like the list version reprint isn't worth nearly any of the other versions.
Yep.
And I would argue some of the list cards are really hard to pull because you got to get a list card and then you have to get that list card.
Yeah. So, but I feel like that food chain is just going to be the worst version, but whatever. I don't also anticipate myself playing a food chain deck anytime soon. I just wanted to make a purchase at a cool store that I was hanging out at. So
there you go.
Here are some Path to Exiles. I have a 4th one coming, but you get the idea. This is another gorgeous card.
Unbelievable artwork. And what better way to honor that artwork by making it a text list card?
I think, aren't they coming back with textless cards?
They're always going to do something flashy, and people love these cards, so why wouldn't they?
Yeah, and so Path to Exile, when it comes to formats, like we've been orbiting around Commander for ages, and I've seen some decks in Commander that run Path to Exile, so I was like, let me get the dope version. I guess it shows up here and there in some formats I play. I'm not playing this in any form. These are for Commander. And also because they're beautiful and they're really not that expensive. I mean, I don't think Path is an expensive card anymore, $4 or $5.
Yeah, multiple reprints.
And these are like $4 to get this version. So,
I guess I'm doing some shopping tonight.
Yeah, they're dirt cheap in, respectively. Not respectively, what's the word I'm looking for? They're dirt cheap. I mean, for that art. Yeah. All right, let's keep on going. Oh, here we go. Some Baldur's Gate. The only card I was looking for in Commander's Baldur's Gate. The Displacer Kitten. On the stream last week, I went through a box of Baldur's Gate Commander Legends looking for this card and just completely glossed over the fact that I pulled the best mythic in the set, the Ancient Copper Dragon. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I hope there's a kitten here soon. And I think the Copper Dragon's worth, what, $70, $80?
Yes, the is it foil or non-foil?
It is non-foil, but the alternate art.
So about $80, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm looking for these kittens, which I think were about $10. So that's cool. Hey, but if you want to get them on Magic Online, they're only 65 as of
That's so strange.
So it's a lovely kitten. I'm going to play the Degenerate combo deck, control deck, whatever, with Yorion that uses it.
And your Monastery Mentor.
And my Monastery Mentor. And I'll probably use the old version of Monastery Mentor. Anyway.
Not even your new toy.
Not even the new one. Okay, now we get into the exciting stuff.
Okay, bring it.
Here is an alpha basalt monolith.
Ooh.
As alpha cards go, it's in decent condition. I mean,
yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
Little bit of
it's almost 30 years old.
Yeah. 30 years old. Just a I mean, any card in alpha. Oh, look at the centering. It's so off, but whatever.
But that's very alpha.
Yeah, that is an alpha move. What can you say about alpha cards? They're gorgeous. They're
Good luck finding any.
good luck finding any. You know, you can.
Even the commons are becoming scarce.
Yeah, even the lands, right? An Alpha Island is like $80 now, right?
Phew.
But absolutely beautiful.
Stunning. It's alpha.
I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
So for our younger viewers, there was a time before you could play with sleeves, before sleeves were a thing, alpha cards weren't legal to play, and nobody wanted them because of the different corner shape. So because you could see the alpha card in your library before you drew it, so it was considered a marked card. And for the longest time, the beta cards were the chase cards. They were the expensive versions, and alpha was relatively cheap because it was completely useless. And then sleeves became legal, and everything changed.
Everything changed. Yeah. So when I had back in the day, back in my day, about 22 years ago, the beta Black Lotus was like $2,000, and the Alpha Lotus was $800.
Oh my God.
You know?
Oh my God.
You know? What a time to be alive.
Wow.
All right, so I'm going to put this away and get into the thing that I'm potentially most excited about, which is beta bolts. Oh yeah. Ooh. This is the pinnacle of Magic the Gathering. This is what we're here to do, is to do 3 to your face. This is something that I've been chasing for a while, and I always kind of hemmed and hawed and didn't do it, which resulted in me paying basically 10 times the price that I would have when I first started going, I should buy beta bolts. $18 is crazy. Who would pay $20 for a bolt?
For a common.
For a common. They, whatever. I'm not going to get these. And then, here I am. I think.
Here you are.
I think this one, they're both considered HP because they are.
Yep.
Again,
you're going to shuffle them, so it's fine.
I'm shuffling them. That's right.
And they're 30 years old.
They're 30 years old. And I think because they're HP, they were like $180.
Oh my God.
Take 3. At the end of your turn, take 3. And I will take a giant hit to my revolving credit.
And we've made this joke about spending money on the masterpiece expedition fetch lands. You're spending all this money for a card that sits in your hand and then touches your playmat and immediately goes to your graveyard.
Right.
The bolt technically doesn't even really touch the playmat. You hold it out and go, bolt you for 3, and you wait to see if they counter. And if they say resolves or counter, it goes to your graveyard.
Right. Yeah, the only time this is staying on the board is with an Isokron's Scepter. That's it. So
brilliant.
I mean, consider before you do what I have done.
Again, this is super amateur.
Yeah. Last but not least, another card that was purchased as an HP card. The last of my playset of volcanic islands in the foreign black border. Isola volcanica. I said that badly. Peter, you're Italian.
Very close. Very close. I mean, it's Isola volcanica. Yeah.
Oh, but he put a little mustard on it.
Okay. Oh, you got it. That's how Italians roll. You gotta. It's got to be musical. That's why it's one of the most beautiful languages.
Which is why I got them in Italian. So
actually, I'll tell the story why you got it in Italian.
Thank you.
Because you, like me, are a degenerate show and tell player. Jeremy once described show and tell as a beautiful deck that either works brilliantly or fails miserably like an Italian sports car. And thus, he has been building his version of the show and tell deck in Italian foreign black border cards.
Available. Yeah. At least the lands.
At least the lands. Well, you got there because that's the only lands that you have to worry about.
And this is it. And this card was sold as HP. I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean it's in a sleeve, but looking at it, take it out of the sleeve.
Yeah,
let's get a look at it. Show off your gem.
Grubby hands on it. Yeah, I mean that's
pretty good for HP. There's no inking. I don't see any creases. The edges are slightly whitened. And we've both verified this card. It's legit, but gosh, that sure is clean. And this is one of the benefits of, when you're buying from a reputable place, a lot of places will grade extra harsh on their inventory because they don't want disappointed customers. They don't want to pass something off as LP and then have to deal with all the emails. Well, it's really MP, so if it's MP, they're like HP. And this way you get the card and you're like, oh my God, this is HP. I'm thrilled.
Yeah.
And you don't email them and they don't have to deal with it.
I opened this envelope and I was like, oh my God.
They've made a mistake.
They've made a mistake. They've sent me an MP.
Yeah, and I was telling the story to you the other day that I was once at an LCG, and they had Sarah Sanctum, and the card was clean. And I was like, oh, what do you guys want for that? And the guy said, oh, $85. And this is at the time Sarah Sanctum was about $105. And I was like, $85? Like, is it bent? Oh, like, can I see it? And I'm looking at it, and he goes, yeah, we're just grading it harshly because that's also on TCG Player. And I was like, I'll take it then. And I bought it for $85. I couldn't say no.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a fan of that. It sucks for the dealers that have to kind of undergrade like that, but I'll take it.
The internet is a harsh mistress.
Yes. So there it is. My first completed set of, or the first playset rather, of 4 and black bordered dual lands. Only probably 30 something to go.
Look how much better the color is compared to
the revised.
Oh.
I know they're gorgeous. It's as close as I'm reasonably going to get to the beta volcanic island.
Yeah, that is definitely a different barrier to entry.
Yes. So there you have it. Are we ready to switch to your hot haul?
Yeah. So go ahead. Let's get in here. All right. Look at me all full screen. All right. So what have I done? Well, so unfortunately, when we were planning this video, I haven't gotten everything in yet, but I have received one of the dragons.
There
I figured
it is.
I didn't really open any. I have purchased one of each. I figure this may play a role in Commander somewhere, somehow, someday. The blue one came in. That one was the one that was sent with tracking, and the others are not being tracked. But I mean, gosh, the color on that is beautiful. It's so cool. These are a really good idea, other than the fact that there's 7 drops. But again, in standard, that's rough. In modern and legacy, it's unplayable. But in Commander, God bless the Commander players. So, and one day we'll learn how to play, and we'll enjoy this.
And also, that's one of the wildest abilities I've ever seen on a card.
Yeah, roll a d20 and get all that.
Draw that many cards.
Yeah.
I play enough D&D to know that 5% chance of rolling a 20 happens more often than you would think.
Not for me. Not for me. So yeah, so just imagine all 5 of them right here. Full art, non-foil, because I don't want them to curl. And yeah, absolutely stunning. So I got all of those. Because the other 2 things I have are not cards. I was sorting through my piles of cards, and the first thing I found was this. And this is from the double.
A double creature feature.
Yes, exactly. And if you'll notice, the top of the card has run out of ink. Now, I will say this is a common misprint. So this card is probably not very valuable. But if anybody's interested, irondeckllc@gmail.com. But I thought this was cool. Like I said, I went online, found out that this was an issue with this print run, but I didn't notice it when I opened it because it looks like it goes with the card.
Right.
So I thought that was cool. And I'm going to turn this over, and there's a reason for it. I was continuing to sort my cards, and the way I sort my cards is I go by color, And then unfortunately, because I'm a maniac, I also do them alphabetical. And the piles that I make, I have them in a color order. So once I make a pile, I put them face down. And I went ahead and I had some Kamigawa cards here. And I went to put them face down and thought, oh, let's see. And I just went and I went like that. And I went, wait a minute, wait, what the? Did I spill something?
It's so weird.
And I'm looking at them and I'm like, okay, oh, wait, this is on the bottom. And this one's on the bottom. So let me make this a little bit neater for you here. I found all of these. And I don't know if it's one box or...
So lay them out and then move your hands away so that the camera, the shadow like adjusts, right? Yeah.
Yep. So it was really these that stood out a lot. And I thought, oh, what the heck is going on here? So I turned the whole pile over and found all of those. Talk about sleeve only playable.
Yeah. And
yeah,
so how would that have happened? Right? Like that you get them all in the same pack. I don't know how the randomization works, but.
Well, it obviously, it probably came out of the same box. Right, because I opened this by the box, and I bet you, that print run at that time, these all made it into the box before it was caught, and it blows my mind that, I mean, I like the misprint. I think it's kind of cool. I'm sure some people would be annoyed at that, and it's like at this day and age, Wizards, as much as I love that company, still can't get a uniform product out.
It would suck if you were drafting it.
Yeah, here's this one just to compare, so you all can see just how off these other cards are. I was like, are these proxies? I'm like, what is going on here? And then I realized it was just a misprint in a set. So check out your Kamigawa cards. Look at the backs of them, because everyone's obsessed with misprints on the front. Oh, this was cut wrong, or ink being messed up. But yeah, I never look at the backs of my cards, and when I flipped them all over, I was blown away.
You can really see too in the center there with that the little red dot in the corner, right? Just how dark it is.
It's yeah, and I'll bring it up close here. So,
have you found it online to see if that's a common thing, or?
This I have not found online yet.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's almost black, but it's just super dark brown. I got to get the glare out of the way, and you can see there's a little bit of brown in there. Yeah, nuts. So I just thought that would be cool to show you guys, more of like a show and tell rather than a haul. But hey, I think those commons and uncommons they're all uncommons. So it's the uncommon sheet, obviously, that was affected. And yeah.
It's a haul. You bought them.
I got some value. All right, next up. Jeremy.
Yes.
This is my favorite Planeswalker.
Chandra. There she is.
I have been kind of searching for it. I was like, should I just buy it online? And I was at
Hot Topic.
An LGS. Hot Topic, burn it down. I was at, and it glows in the dark. I don't know where yet. And I was just kind of browsing around the LGS, waiting in between legacy rounds, and I looked over and I was like, hey, wait a minute. And I asked how much it was, and they go, we'll just sell it to you for the regular online price. And I was like, sold, I'll take it.
I like her soulless orange eyes. They're just staring blankly at you like a Hello Kitty.
Yeah. Well, that's pop for you. And I don't collect pops. I just, for the record, this is the only pop I own.
You do now.
I know, right? Now I got to buy them all. And last but not least, my crown jewel for the haul video. And I can't get over just how clean this is. Boom.
Yes.
A clean, crispy box of Unhinged.
So, is Unhinged is the second of the...
Correct. This is the one with
Unsets.
the expensive full art lands by Avon.
Yes, arguably the best. There is something cool about the original Unglued, was it?
Yes.
But, I think this was the pinnacle of the basic land.
This is the pinnacle. This is what really got everybody fired up about full art foil lands, because they didn't exist until here. And because this is before Zendikar or anything like that. And the first unglued set, they experimented with a full art land, but it has a big border on it. If you'll have to look up the unglued lands. But when they came out with Unhinged, they went regular border, so it truly was full art. And then they had foil versions available, and the foil versions are still worth a ton of money. I have one of each of the foils in a picture frame. But because of those, these boxes have been just expensive. Obviously, none of the cards are playable in it otherwise.
Right.
Silver bordered.
That's the interesting thing about the old unsets, right? Not the new one coming out, because that's a whole new mess of the legality of how you can play the cards and whatever based on this on the bottom, right? The shape of the little hologram.
Okay.
In the new Unfinity or whatever it's called.
Yes.
And some of them are legal in Eternal formats and some of them aren't. But the old school silver border ones, like, it was only good for, kitchen table games or.
Well, I mean, one of the cards, the Herloon Wrangler, had Denim Walk. So it was like a 2/2 Minotaur that was wearing Jay Leno's Canadian tuxedo. And if your opponent was wearing denim, the creature was unblockable. So yeah, you can't play that in Legacy.
Right. And so the only thing out of these that was, remains valuable are the basic lands, and especially the foil basic lands.
Absolutely.
And again, I think Unhinged was the top of the mountain when it comes to the foil full art basic lands.
And I haven't looked it up yet, but I wonder, I'm almost certain that the first version of Double Masters with the VIP packs, I think that just destroyed the value because it was the exact same art, the exact same border, the exact same card, foil and non-foil.
So they are a little bit different.
Yeah, the bottom, the writing on the bottom.
Yeah, the writing on the bottom, and they just the original ones just looked this much better, right? Just a tiny bit better. And I think like everything in Magic, despite the fact they reprinted them to death in the Double Masters, I think the original ones are still going to hold.
Yeah, they're rarer. Right?
Yeah.
Nobody's cracking these boxes anymore to get the lands out of them. So whatever's out there is out there. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
That's very cool. And again, I think the sealed product of the unsets is where it's at, right? Like you said, nobody's cracking them, nor should you be cracking them. Let's go back to.
There we go. Yeah, no, you should not crack this.
Unless you're going to draft it with your buddies, right? If you want to live that life and crack it open, I mean, get on.
Buy a box of Unstable.
Wait for Unfinity and buy all those space cards.
There you go. Oh, those look amazing.
They do look amazing.
I'm going to need them all.
I know. Well, the good news is they're shock lands, so I don't have as much of a need for the shock lands.
I just, the art on those, I'm a space nerd. I grew up, in case anyone hasn't figured it out yet, I'm a doctor. But growing up, I wanted to be an astronaut. I love space. Went to space camp, Space Academy level 2. I used to build model rockets. I'm a nerd. And those space cards are stunningly beautiful.
They do look great. If anybody wants to know how it was at space camp, just watch the movie. It was exactly like that.
Yeah, I became friends with a robot and they let us on the real space shuttle.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. You can still do it now.
For the record, engine tests are done outside of the rocket in a vice.
Allegedly. I've seen space camp.
And they don't have to test space shuttle engines, especially at that time. I'm sorry.
Kids.
I saw that movie in theaters. Oh man.
But yes.
Can you imagine younger generation right now watching this going, space camp? And they go to watch that movie and they all just commit Harry Carey.
Yeah, our entire space program just tanks. Like, yeah, no.
Gives up.
Same way Top Gun made people want to become Navy pilots. Watching space camp makes you not want to be an astronaut.
Today.
Back
when I was a kid, I still thought it was cool, but it doesn't hold up. Does not hold up. And there's oh God, we're going on a tangent. The space camp counselor, she believed in her student. She was extra hard on him because she was going to get, oh no, it was her, because she piloted the space shuttle back after they re-entered. She had to do the split S maneuvers, having never done it before. Oh God.
You can rent Space Camp right now on Amazon or YouTube. We don't have affiliate links.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Just go do them and say Peter and Jeremy sent you.
That'll get Amazon on our side, and we'll be sponsored by them.
When Space Camp spikes the algorithm. Anyway, so the takeaways from this is watch Space Camp, become an astronaut,
Definitely.
and don't buy the foil Monastery Mentor unless you really, really love the art.
That's accurate. Go to bed early.
Go to bed early, or you might do this.
They say don't drive angry or don't drive tired. Don't shop on card shops tired.
Please, I implore you, as somebody who makes this mistake 2 or 3 times a month.
I think we just saw a bunch of your mistakes.
You just saw a bunch of my mistakes. Most of it was cool. Some of it I look at and go, did I need 4 Elsbeth Resplendents? The art's beautiful, but I don't need it 4 times.
No, just one. Call me next time. I'll help you, brother.
Yes, thank you.
And on that bombshell, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Like and subscribe. Like the video.
Like, comment, subscribe, smash it.
That's smash the button. Hit it. Just hit that button.
Like, comment,
It's up
subscribe.
Here. It's up here. It's there.
I don't know. We
How
got
do
an
they decide
SEO
that?
optimizer.
There.
He put it somewhere. We don't know where it goes. We don't know how this works. You know how YouTube works. So like, comment, subscribe. Please boost us.
Love you guys.
I'd love you more. Okay. I'm going to stop recording. Horde.